Yes.
You know
are.
what? Okay. I'll give you that one.
Okay, team 10.
So how's everybody doing this evening?
Good.
Everyone must be feeling good, right? Being done with the presentations. Yes. By the way, everybody did a great job. Give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, so today I want to start with a quote by Bill Gates. He says, "We all need people that will give us feedback. That's how we improve." And one thing we do want to say, we want to say thank you for the feedback that you guys provided us, because we were able to take that back and work on our presentation. So hopefully for the better, right? So let me ask you guys this question. What do you think of when you hear the word feedback?
Constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism? What else?
Answers to questions that you didn't know to ask.
Answers to questions you didn't know to ask. Okay. So feedback is important for our professional development, but a lot of the times we tend to think of it as being something negative. In fact, in a study done by Quantum Workplace, it was found that 1 in 5 employees are not confident that their employer will provide them with regular and constructive feedback. So a lot of us are not comfortable with receiving and providing feedback. My name is Joe, and tonight, along with Ling Ling, Xiao Chen, and Jessica, we're going to be talking to you guys about the importance of thick skin and giving feedback with grace. So we're going to be going over being direct and clear as possible, separating the personal from the professional. Healthy feedback requires trust, remembering that feedback is a two-way dialogue, and not giving feedback when you're upset. We also have the golden rule, and we're going to wrap up with a quick game of Jeopardy. But I'll begin with being direct and clear as possible. So feedback can be either positive or negative. The important thing is that we be clear about what went well or didn't and why. In other words, don't sugarcoat. Sugarcoating can definitely be tempting, especially if the feedback that we're providing isn't positive, or if just being direct is not necessarily within our personality. But when you sugarcoat, you also tend to dilute your message, and when you do that, it might not necessarily have the impact it was intended to have. And then also, speaking of sugarcoating, reading some of those comments, there was not a lot of sugarcoating there, so definitely wish there was a little bit more of that. But again, thank you. It was clear. We were able to quickly identify our areas of opportunity and make those changes. And now on to Ling Ling, who will be going over separating the personal from the professional.
Thank you, John. So separate the professional, or separate the personal from professional. Easier said than done. If you and a person on receiving the feedback feel personally invested in the work, and hopefully they do. Even though receiving the feedback is kind of an emotional experience, but it is very important to put your personal feelings aside so you can discuss your professional work and how efficiently to the business. So the ability to listening, take a deep breath, and let something to sink in, that says a lot about your professional maturity. Instead of focus on the feedback, how it makes you feel, consider how it can improve to your business. So in the end, it's a valuable opportunity to grow. The growth happens in a struggle, not in a stress. So let's move to Xiaoqi.
Hello everyone. So what is the health or feedback requires trust? In my opinion, I think the important thing is consider others' feedback and earn the trust. Since in my team, I always like to trust my team because they understand my feedback comes to a place is good for both they to do a good job, and they also know I'm gonna be protect the feedback. This is a fact in my company since my company is an international company, but our headquarters in China. But this is a small group company in United States. But my boss is like only 2 weeks a year in United States. She's not often in here. So every time when she to here we got a meeting, and he asked Albert to how is the meeting is, and how's everything do the job. And for my coworker, they always say just like no like feedback to the boss. They just say, oh, everything's good. Boss, you know, our company is really doing pretty well. We don't have any problems. But this is not a good answer for boss. And I always just give the boss like whether the positive or negative feedback. And my coworker, after the meeting, my coworker just told me, why you give the boss this feedback? You know what? If you give much feedback to the boss, you get in trouble and you have to get more job. And this is kind of, since our boss is not all so longer in United States, so just like in text, you don't like answer too much for her. So after 3 months, and my boss just come back America. This is we do the meeting again, and she just add a salary for me. The reason is that she say, I know you guys doing a great job, but I really, since our company is a new company, for a new company not always be perfect. We still have a lot of problems on any questions, but you be our you guys is my employee. You should have any feedback for me, and we just together to do great job, and the company gonna be improved more. So I think so. Once if you wanted to give a person to be honestly give a person on your feedback, and they're gonna be trust you. So next, I will say, and we always remember that feedback is a two-way dialogue. So just really listen and ask questions, be present. It feels like a conversation, not as thought you have, not as thought you have, not as not as like you're having you're having sorry, I'm gonna be a little bit nervous. So it's just like you thought as not as thought you having affect not affect just in hand to you. It's like just ask. It's like just like a conversation. Ask a question. For example, our presentation, we're gonna be asking the audience questions, and you guys give us the feedback, and we're gonna be listen the feedback you given, and we're gonna get more information and improve our skills, so we can get a better job in our presentation. So, and next, Jessica gonna be explain why we don't be when we giving the feedback, it's gonna be don't be upset.
Thank you, Xiaochen. So the next piece of advice is to not give feedback when you're upset. If you give feedback when you're upset, then there's no way there will be effective communication reciprocated across all parties. So the best thing to do is to give yourself a timeout to process your thoughts and emotions together before you re-engage back with the conversation. And lastly, let's evaluate our golden rule. Give feedback in the way you'd like to receive it. It is important to understand that your inputs reflects your motives, and people will most likely respond to you with equal treatment. So consider how you want your direction and feedback to lead in continued growth and shared learning in the workplace. And now Joe will give us a brief overview of what we've learned today.
Just for a quick recap, we went over being direct and clear, so not sugarcoating. Ling Ling went over separating the personal from the professional, so putting personal feelings aside. Xiaochen went over being the healthy feedback. So in order to have a healthy feedback loop, you need trust, and it's a two-way conversation, so it's just not one person taking over. Giving yourself a timeout, so not giving feedback when you're upset, And the golden rule, of course, giving feedback in the way in which you'd like to receive that feedback. Before we move on to our game of Jeopardy, do we have any questions of what we've gone over so far? And our reference is here. So now, if you guys would, Jessica?
Yeah, so if one person from each group can pull out their phone and go to this website, please.
Thank you. All right, so that's what you guys are used to join.
Slow down.
So as everyone's logging in, as you guys all may know, this is a Jeopardy game that we're playing, testing your knowledge and giving and receiving feedback. And does anyone have any questions about logging in or any concerns? No?
All right, 3 more teams. 2 more. What are you guys?
Teams are.
Salary?
So any help or any,
Is everybody joined? Yeah. Looks like we're missing 1.
Are all in?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Actually,
We are all in.
Missing one team.
You got team.
no,
we're in. No, bro.
Yes, they're all there.
I don't know.
There's only 8 people.
Just go ahead. We're going to play with 8 teams.
Alright, so before we start, Joe is going to be calling out the questions and I'm going to be the game moderator. And ultimately, by the end of this game, we want everyone to successfully transfer these valuable skills into the workplace, whether it is in the classroom right now or once you graduate UT Dallas. So any more questions before we begin? No? Alrighty, so who has a birthday in July, around July 4th?
Can I say August?
Any July birthdays? When's your birthday?
On the 8th.
The 8th, your birthday?
26.
Right here. You said July?
August 20th, so.
You guys want to start first?
Yeah.
You pick a category, please.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
500.
All right, so as a team leader, if you have a team member not meeting company objectives, okay. Someone buzz in already? Watermelon? Quick, watermelon.
Hey, there's a lot of them.
Watermelon?
No, I'm
Someone picked watermelon. Back there.
What's that?
What's the answer?
True.
Alright.
2 equal.
Okay. Next category.
Next, co-worker conflicts. A1.
All right, so Sonia feels uncomfortable when working on a large-scale project. Okay, watermelon.
Watermelon?
Watermelon?
Bro, you have to read the
True.
Alright, true. I didn't even read the question.
Alright.
You can tell. I'm not having fun, Professor.
Pick again.
$1,000
Leadership. All right, you recently received feedback from one of your employees. Lemon? D. Who has lemon?
D.
D?
C.
So managerial criticism. Adam never comes prepared. Lauren. What's the answer, Lauren?
D.
Yeah.
Just pick the long answer, right?
Huh.
Yeah. So obviously the clear winner is watermelon with $2,000.